Usually for all the devolution conferences that have happened, and this is the 7th one, there's a lot of preparation that is required to host about 8,000 Kenyans coming from the 46 other counties as well as Makueni County itself. And usually one of the first assignments is for a county to determine that it has adequate accommodation. And we have really sensitized all our private sector, particularly those who have hotels, both in Makueni and Machakos, because we approximate, and also Kitui, because we want to host this conference in a different way, not one county, but the 3 counties of the southeastern region, which form the southeastern economic bloc. So that is usually the first thing, so that there is adequate and safe accommodation. And we are talking about 8,000 people. The second thing is to ensure that there is enough food to feed all those people at the conference level, during the conference events, as well as when people, go out of the conference and into the towns. They also require to feed from all the hotels that we have. And usually for the conference, what we have done, as is done in the past, is to have a consortium of hoteliers who form a company and they provide those services together. And that has happened. The company has been registered. We have been meeting them, and through the good offices of the CEO of COG, all the standards have been communicated, and indeed there is a consultant, a very, very qualified hotelier, a world-known hotelier, who is helping the consortium to do the right thing. The first thing that the Secretariat of the Council of Governors does when a county is identified as a host or potential host is to come and look at the facilities that are available. And we have done that, and we have looked at all the necessary facilities for the venue, the main venue. We play games, also football and tug of war and so on, where that will happen, where there will be registration, where there will be parking, where choppers will land, where, all the activities that are associated with the conference, and that has been done. So the current exercise now is to ensure that they are prepared properly, and all the roads that also lead to Wote from all aspects, because usually people stay as far as 1 hour from the venue. So to make sure that all those roads are prepared, and we have made an appeal to the national government, because those roads are Kena, Kera and Kura, so that those bodies are advised by the national government to be able to help us, because as one hosts the devolution conference, you also host it with the national government, particularly the Ministry of Devolution, because it's a huge thing. We have also we are in conversation with the national government at the county level, the county commissioner, who is extremely cooperative in terms of this joint activity, to secure security, because that's a very important aspect of these meetings. We don't want episodes during the meetings. So that is something that is ongoing, and we will require assistance from even Nairobi to ensure security is very robust. In the past, the president, the former Prime Minister, the Deputy President, they have all attended or somehow participated in the devolution conferences. So issues of arrangement must be such that they accommodate those high officials of our country.
So what does
Yes, as I've indicated, like those who have hotels, those who have food facilities, when such a high number of people come to a town, they go to the hospitals. We have also made, the private, the public hospitals, when there are chemists, when there are supermarkets, the border. We are having a conversation with them, and some are coming from other towns, so that there can be available for about 8,000 people. The farmers themselves who supply the vegetables, the very good vegetables, we have told them to be standby, that a lot of vegetables and a lot of farm produce will be needed by the consortium. So we are in a conversation with them. Of course, there will be some designated places for small traders to also make business, but not to cook food in terms of the places where food should be cooked apart from the consortium. In the hotels, the public health people are checking on each of those hotels, but when some hawkers want to do their trade, and that's also allowed, but they do things like sodas, like biscuits, like things that may not bring some problems to our visitors. So usually in the devolution meeting, about 300 million is left in the place where the meeting has happened, about 300 million shillings. So and indeed, even those who have private houses, sometimes they make rooms available, like they can make a room available and they rent it. That happens from when we began. So business will be booming, and for us, apart from just being hosts to the rest of Kenya, we like the fact that our people will make money. And subsequently, the devolution conference is going to happen every 2 years. When that happens, it means that for the rest of the 40 counties, it will take 80 years for them to host the devolution conference. So we are very privileged to host before it becomes a biannual event.
Yes, now the last question.
Like as you come into Makueni, particularly now with loss of rain, there is a very, very good scenery, like as you come to the town itself through Makongo, that's extremely good scenery, and even there is a stopover where people are doing some photos for weddings, they are doing shootouts for music videos, and so on. So there is that area to enjoy. We have a green park which is recently built in Wote, and it's a place where people relax and where people, there's Wi-Fi, and we're in the process of getting Wi-Fi. There is even an innovation center. So there is that. We have the parks, the Chyullu Park, particularly the Savo parks, and some of those hotels, Kelaguni and so on. People can again enjoy those after the conference, and we even though we are not like a coastal county, but there's also some significant stuff to enjoy, and that's why we talked about also home visits, because that's another aspect of our tourism that we want to promote. We have people who are good traditional dancers and all that. So this also will introduce many Kenyans to the real Makueni, because maybe they hear about us from the media, from the TV and so on, and they hear there's public participation, they hear there are good hospitals, they hear there is some fruit processing, some plants that we are doing. But this will be the occasion for them to come and really see and go back knowing that truly these things that are talked about do exist, and they help people, and they are real things, and I think that's the way to go for the rest of the country, in terms of, instead of going to benchmark abroad, you benchmark within the country, and we visit each other, and this idea of national unity is enhanced.
Okay, the last question. During the World Food Organization Day, you advocated for the traditional foods to be consumed. What are some of these traditional meals that we have locally in Makueni County, and what do you have to say?
I think people need to go back into healthy eating, so that we minimize, the chips, the white rice, the ugali, the traditional ugali from white maize flour. So that we go back into things like the millets, we go back into the cassava unga, we go back into pumpkins, we go back into sweet potatoes, into arrowroots, into those foods that people ate without much salt, or no salt at all, without taking a lot of sugar, without taking a lot of oils, mafuta, ghee. Because lifestyle diseases are happening partly because of our feeding habits and our lack of exercise and our non-consumption of vegetables. Like the traditional vegetables are very, very good, the fruits. So part of our crusade here is also to advise people to go back to some of the traditional foods, and it's a fact that people eat those foods. Like when you go to Mboni or you go to Kaiti, you find people are 80, 90, very old people, because they've been eating very well.
So,
on the bit of accommodation, we have a room capacity of 72 rooms, 2 luxury rooms, 6 executive rooms, 49 superior rooms, and 15 standard rooms. We have the luxury rooms actually are usually reserved for, it's like a presidential suite, so it can host the VVIP people. Then with 40,000 shillings and 50, then there's executive rooms we charge 7,000 bed and breakfast. Superior rooms are charged 5,500 bed and breakfast. Then the standard rooms are charged 4,500 bed and breakfast. Organizations such as the COG have started doing their booking. Other organizations have making inquiries, such as the parastatals and other government bodies. So it's our prayer and hope that when it comes during that period between the 20th and the 23rd, our hotel will be full to capacity. In fact, as far as the parking is concerned, we are targeting increasing the parking capacity, which so far we have a parking capacity of around 100 cars, but we are trying to increase that capacity because the number projected being 8,000 people, it's a huge number, and so we need to prepare as far as parking is concerned. The restaurant has a capacity of around 100 covers, but in case we have so many guests, we have grounds whereby we can provide tended seating areas.
We have targeted before 4th, next month, we should be having in our account 35 million, which will be a start of the event. The first kind of food served will be there, and we are also going to include our traditional food, kienyeji, makwasi, mukimwa, na usuo, na manga.
The prices they meet at their own accounts is also the same prices they will meet at Makueni, because I don't think somebody will raise the prices high, but we will be moderate in prices. As pertains the vendors or the hawkers of fruits and also on. We have enough who will supply the people with the fruits, but this time the prices will be high because it will be almost off season of the mangoes and also start of the end season of the oranges. Yeah.